Mr. Who's the Boss is gonna use technology trying to get in shape. Welcome back, my friends. JM here for Savage Wellness. To be perfectly honest with you, I didn't even know who he was a few months ago, and he's got 22 million followers. So I'm expecting some high production value, probably some useless tech, and possibly the wrong approach to weight loss and fitness. All right, let's get into it.
Last week, I got the greatest message ever. Do you want to play in the Sidemen charity football match? My favorite sport to play in the largest stadium in the country with the biggest online audience of any charity sports event ever and millions raised for great causes. Oh my God, yes. The only issue is I look like this. This is my current body. No alterations, no clenching. And this is about how good I am at football. But you know the motto? Say yes, then learn how to do it later. I would love to play. Right, now I just need to completely transform my weight, my health, and my football skills before April 18th, the day of the match. So because we're trying to make such a massive change in not a massive amount of time, we need to address every single key health metric all at once. The first being, I'm overweight. I just got a full body DEXA scan done, which is pretty crazy because it shows you in crystal clear detail how much of you is lean muscle in red and then how much is fat. And I'm not in love with the report that came with that because it confirms the obvious that I do have slightly.
I mean, he's not morbidly obese, but yeah, he's carrying probably some unhealthy fats.
Too much fat. It's saying over here that I'm 64th out of an average 100 people, but it's also made me realize that I have way too much visceral fat, the hidden fat around your organs, which is particularly nasty.
Yeah, that's not ideal for sure. If you have fat around your organs, they can interfere with organ function.
I'm 79th out of 100. I hate health checks. The good news, though, is losing extra weight is pretty much as simple as this equation. Calories taken in through food and drink, so for me right now, this is 2,500 a day, minus the calories I burn. So that's both what my body burns naturally, just by being alive.
No, that's not how it works. First of all, food don't contain calories. And even if they did, it's impossible to weigh to track. Because first of all, on every food package, the accuracy is plus or minus 20%. So that means it gives you like a 40% range of accuracy. Secondly, you would need a team of scientists constantly monitoring you to know exactly how much calorie you're burning. So these are just gross estimates, not accurate whatsoever. And also, different food are being metabolized at completely different pathway, different rate, and different responses in your body. So it's meaningless. The best way to lose fat is always increasing the quality of your food and diet, and also reducing the amount of carbohydrate, especially refined carbohydrates. If you go to zero carbohydrate and you're in ketosis, it'll probably be very fast.
1,800, and any extra that I'm able to shed by moving around and exercising, a meager 400 right now. So that leaves us with a 300 calorie surplus. I'm eating more than I'm using, so my body is storing that excess mostly as fat. So how can I actually change this in a way that isn't just spend half my life in the gym? I think I've realized I've made it an involuntary habit to consistently clench to try and hide the belly. So to up the number of calories burned, my desk chair is gone. It's replaced by two things. This wellness ball that I bought from Techno Gym, which is pretty great for me because I'm a born fiddler. And this lets me fiddle, but in a way that's keeping my body moving and my core active. Then,
there's nothing inherently wrong with the chair. I think any position that you're being holding for too long will be detrimental, whether it's on the Swiss ball or on a chair. So I think the best would be to take mini breaks every 30 minutes or an hour just to get your spine and your body moving. But I wouldn't use this as burning more calories. Always lose weight through nutrition. You should have the body that you want just through nutrition without having to exercise on top of it. You should only work out when you're already healthy, when your body can handle the stress of working out.
The best under-desk elliptical that I've ever used, the QB Go, which I love because it basically feels like a footrest, but one that I naturally end up pedaling anyway without even thinking about it. Now, I gotta stress, this kind of stuff is far from a full solution to my problem. Even if I use both of these for a few hours every day, it's only going to burn an extra roughly 200 calories.
It's fucking useless.
So none of this is better than going to the gym. But the goal of this is just to burn enough calories while I work so that by the time I finish work, the amount that I need to tackle in the...
Why do they always try to lose the weight without tackling the nutrition? Well, I'm sure we're gonna see it in the video. Let's see where it goes. But fuck, man. All those rich motherfuckers always eat fucking seed oil garbage. I'm willing to bet.
Gym is actually achievable. Essentially, the plan is to burn an additional 400 calories from focused exercise per day compared to what I used to. And that extra will be a combination of football practice, which as you've seen, I'm going to need plenty of. Some strength training in between to make sure I don't waste away. But the most important tool in my entire arsenal is the incline walk. Walking at an incline on a treadmill honestly
Go walk outside, damn it.
feels like a hack. It burns calories shockingly fast, while being low intensity enough that you can also just do something while it's happening, like play a game on your phone or watch a bit of TV, and it's actually relaxing. And you need that. You have to build in some things that you look forward to. And then finally, but most importantly, I also got to reduce how many calories I take in from 2,500 to 2,100, leaving us with a total calorie deficit of 700 every day. I want to do this so badly, because if I can keep this up, my entire body composition will completely change by the time it comes to my follow-up DEXA appointment, which I'll have done just before the big game itself. But I'll keep you updated on Instagram in the meantime.
Just another brain-dead rich slave.
Time with progress. And then to keep track of everything, I'm using the creatively named calorie counter app. I just love the fact that it lays out that exact equation I've been talking about, factoring in how many calories you're consuming,
tech.
what your body burns by itself, and then what you're burning with exercise and movement, leaving you with the bottom figure, which is exactly how much of a deficit you're
No, it's not exactly, just for the reasons I've mentioned. The accuracy for these things are terrible.
in, and that the app updates the calories burned as you're doing things using the tracking on the Apple Watch. I would say Apple slightly overestimates, but you can just factor that in. Time for sleep. Not like that, it's like 11 a.m. I feel like the most incredible, but also terrifying part of this health journey is that every single section of health that I'm trying to tackle, they're all linked, which means if I can get them all right, they will compound each other for an even better result. But if one starts to go wrong, it will drag the others. Last year was the first time that I started consistently snoring in my sleep, pretty badly. And weight gain is one of the most common.
Yeah, if you're snoring, it's funny, like a lot of people, they go carnivore diet, they stop snoring just because you're not congesting the body with all that inflammatory shit food.
Explanations for that. It makes my sleep less restful, it wakes Trisha up, who then wakes me up, all leading to an average sleep score last month of 76 out of 100, which is not good, especially
Who fucking cares what your app says as a score? You know when you sleep well, you wake up refreshed and energized. Fuck, why do we need an app for everything? It's so useless.
considering that a lot of these apps inflate that figure to just make you feel better. So here's the game plan to get that number up. First, 3 gadgets. And to be honest, each one of these is a bit of a wild card. First is the Woodger mat, which you place onto your bed, and it's meant to use vibration in a way that stimulates circulation and relaxation. They say this is absolutely transformational to how restful your sleep is.
What the fuck
The
is
Elamind
this?
headband, which
Let me know, guys. I'm curious. Do you think you need all of this tech to be healthy? Do you think it's necessary? Or do you believe that we have all the internal intuition to know exactly what's good for us? Let me know down below. I'm really curious.
is the first to be clinically shown to fix the other side of the sleep equation, helping people fall asleep faster using precise acoustic stimulation. People are raving about this thing online. The only thing I can say right now is just, it's very squishy. I could see it being very comfy in bed. And then the final one is a gadget that sounds really counterintuitive, but this is actually the thing that I am most intrigued by. So I found these glasses online by a company called Luminet, and they blast you with light, like the literal opposite of sunglasses. Ooh. It's surprisingly out of your way. Like, I very much feel like I can carry on doing what I'm doing.
What the fuck is that supposed to do? What's the premise behind that? We know that LED lights are terrible for you.
While it's on. It's actually a pretty well-established thing that one way to fix your sleep cycle is to focus on exposing yourself to lots of light early in the morning. That way your body fully wakes up.
Yeah, real sunlight, the full spectrum. Your body knows what time it is just by the spectrum of the rays that is hitting your eyes and skin. Not this flickering, poor spectrum LED garbage.
At the start of the day, so that when you're starting to wind down and getting ready to sleep, it's completely tired. Now, most people, myself included, don't do this. We spend the first few hours of our day in fairly dim indoor conditions, which means we don't hit our peak level of alertness till later, and therefore we don't tire till later. So the whole idea of these glasses is really just to bring forward these timings so that when it comes to bedtime, you are less alert and more ready for sleep. So that's the tech.
He's right about that rhythm, but it has to be natural light. You can't mimic that with shitty technology. I'm willing to bet that these glasses are way overpriced as well for what the fuck they are.
But one thing I recommend is just a drop test. It's just
A drop test, that's where they
So
belong.
one thing, if you're not getting completely optimal sleep, I would recommend you do is just see a doctor. I found one who's a specialist in everything I suffer with. He stuck his big, long camera up my nose and immediately found inflammation because I have like 17 allergies. So he's given me a spray to take that
Of course he does.
down. And then also from a blood test, he found that I have a pretty significant iron deficiency, which he's saying is the most likely cause for all the restlessness that I get. It's
Because you eat shit.
just really good to fix these fundamentals before you start worrying about
He's gonna take his supplements, of course.
your fancy Tron-style monobrow glasses. Tronobrow? I got a wedge pillow. My dad, who's almost definitely at this point where I inherit my snoring genes from, he swears by this. He carries one
The snoring genes. What the fuck? There's no such thing as a snoring gene.
of these everywhere he goes because it lifts the entire upper half of your body, which reduces the pressure on your airways. So it's likely to be a good short-term fix to stop the snoring until I've lost the weight. And then the last thing, which is by far the least fun, I need to stop snacking late from the cupboard of doom that we have in our cinema room. I can have the snack. It's just better to have the snack during the day and then just cold turkey quit eating at 7 p.m. Because anything after that will mean my body is actively digesting while I sleep instead of maximizing restfulness. So let's see how close to 100 out of
This doesn't matter as much if you're eating very clean.
100 I can get on my sleep score if I stick to all this. So that's the weight, that's the sleep under control. But I do also need to get fit. In my entire life, I have never been able to sprint more than about 30 seconds. I am out of breath walking up the stairs.
Well, if you sprint more than 30 seconds, is that still a sprint? Sprint are typically short bursts in between 5 and 20 seconds. Anything above that, you're moving into different zones.
So to say that I am not prepared for Wembley Stadium would be about the understatement of the century.
And for football, you need more endurance because you're going to be on the court basically jogging and running for a long period of time. So sprint is irrelevant.
Now, the best way to measure fitness is something called a VO2 max test, which essentially quantifies how much oxygen that your body can use while exercising. That might sound niche. It's not. VO2 max is actually pretty widely considered to be one of the best indicators for how long you're going to live. So you can imagine I wasn't ecstatic to find myself firmly
No, it's not. I'm pretty sure that my grandmother, who's past 100, has never done a VO2 max test. Oh, it's so dumb. I wonder how much money he spent just on garbage tech doing that video.
in the fair category, just above poor. There's two things that can specifically help to address this though. One is interval training, so bursts of sprinting with quick breaks in between. I say as I've just taken a seat. It's not just a way to get more calories, because interval training, it trains your heart to actually get more oxygen to your muscles, and it trains your muscles to be able to use that oxygen better. Now, I'm also not made of time, so I think the best way for me to get these sprints in is just the last 8 minutes of my nice, easy, fun incline walks. The second thing, though, is this guy, the AeroFit Elite. This is something you keep around your mouth and it basically makes it harder to breathe. It forces you to be able to work with less so that when you have a normal amount, you feel like a superhuman. And it's a
Wow, that's fucking outrageous. Keep in mind that I understand that he needs to increase his cardiovascular capacity in order to be able to keep up during the match, but let me make this clear. If you increase your cardiovascular capacity, it does not mean that you increase your heart health, in my opinion.
clever little thing. You can see it measuring the air going in and out of your lungs in real time, and then using it to track your progress. So, just like the DEXA scan, I'm gonna retest my VO2 at the end of this transformation, and I pray to God that it's better than...
Even if it's higher at the end, all it means is that his body got adapted to stress. That's not a longevity or health marker whatsoever.
Stress leads to bad sleep, whether you have a wedge pillow or not. Stress triggers the fight or flight response, which makes you crave energy-dense, unhealthy things like candy. And it can stop you losing weight or gaining muscle, even if you're eating everything right, because it's reallocating your body's resources towards short-term survival. And that's scary because I get stressed a lot. I'm someone who really likes things to go to plan, and filming YouTube videos is a complex, messy process that, let's just say, very rarely does.
Are you all right? Yeah.
So there's three things.
Well, he's absolutely right about that. When you're stressed, it's almost impossible to have the best body composition. Your body tends to hold to fat and water as a protective mechanism.
Things I'm going to try. A is just a complete rework of my calendar. Just giving myself more time to get the same things done so that I'm not constantly rushing to finish the next thing fast and getting worked up when that doesn't happen. B is kind of the flip side of this, gratitudes. I'll give 3 things that I'm grateful for to Drisha, my wife. She'll give 3 things to me. And this is something that currently we're only doing when we get particularly stressed. And it really helps because it refocuses your brain on all the amazing things that no doubt are happening in your life. But I'm curious to see how much difference this will make if we just do it every day. And then finally, for stress, of course, it's me. There's a gadget for that. I've only just started using this face mask, but I think I'm going to absolutely love it. Because you just stick it on your face and turn it on, and it treats you with red light, which is de-aging, blue light, which is good for skin clarity, and then while that's happening, it does a light massage. And that combination of feeling good because of the massage, while also feeling like you're doing good for yourself with all the lights, all in this really comfy package that's USB-C rechargeable and keeps your eyes out of it so you can carry on watching TV, is, I think, a potential game changer for the evening wind-down routine. The only thing left to do then is to gain some ball knowledge. Here are my current stats. I have never in my life watched a football game from start to finish, and out of 30 shots at goal, I managed to score 18. If that sounds impressive, bear in mind there was no goalkeeper, I was only 8 meters away, and I nearly decked myself in the process. So I booked a coach. 3 times a week I'm going to train football, which should also help a little with the fitness equation, and then I should also start watching some games for strategy. But thankfully, that fits very neatly into my time incline walking on the treadmill. So, I'm filming this video on January 18th, 3 months before the match, which is on April 18th, which means by the time you're seeing this video, I am well into the transformation and I have basically 1 month to go. I'm scared. I'm very scared. I've never done anything like this, but what an opportunity. Let's get to work.
Well, we didn't see anything that he was eating, which is a bit disappointing, but I'm presuming, based just on the snack that he had in his movie room, that he probably eats absolute shit, like most rich people do. There's a reason why those kind of channels are being promoted, because they promote useless fucking technology that big corporation can make a shit ton of money on, and it's just pushing us into that, you know, technocracy society where everything is subscription-based, everything is technology-based, and you don't even know how to use your own internal intuition to know what's right or wrong anymore. So I think for that, it's just not good. Secondly, well, I wish him all the best in his fat loss or fitness journey. I think he's approaching it all the wrong way. On the other hand, I think it's just one big marketing campaign just to plug useless product. All right, I'll see you in the next one.